Giovanni Pontiero, the translator, brought to life the surreal historical novel, The Year of the Death of Ricardo Reis, 1984, by the Portuguese writer José Saramago in English. This book has garnered significant acclaim as a prime example of Saramago's unique style, fusing elements of magical realism with historical fiction. Saramago's distinctive narrative technique features endless, meandering sentences that make minimal use of punctuation. This novel was honored with the Independent Foreign Fiction Prize. In a peculiar way, Saramago's Ricardo Reis is a historical figure, bearing the name of one of Fernando Pessoa's numerous literary alter egos or nom de plumes, celebrated within Portuguese modernist circles. The story unfolds in 1935, as Reis, exiled in Brazil since 1919, returns to Lisbon upon Pessoa's death. The backdrop is the rise of totalitarianism in Portugal and across Europe. Instead of practicing medicine, which was his previous profession, Reis opts to rent a room in a hotel and while away his days in idleness. He adopts the persona of a flaneur, strolling the streets, observing, offering commentary, and embodying a certain elegant restlessness and uselessness. His preferred pastime involves reading a book titled The God of the Labyrinth, written by the fictional Herbert Quain, a reference to a short story by Jorge Luis Borges titled A Survey of the Works of Herbert Quain. As Reis meanders through the streets of Lisbon, he pays a visit to Pessoa's gravesite and encounters the ghost of Pessoa. This initial meeting initiates a series of wide-ranging, philosophical, and bizarre conversations that touch on history, politics, religion, literature, the arts, and life itself. The novel's deliberate lack of action, including Reis's lackluster love affair hindered by his persistent feelings of estrangement, starkly contrasts with the political turmoil and social upheaval unfolding in the background. The Year of the Death of Ricardo Reis reaches a unique and fitting conclusion with Reis's own demise. He discovers that Lisbon's cemetery holds a whole other city, a mirrored image of the living Lisbon. Reis, in the end, simply dons his jacket and walks with Pessoa to the cemetery, where he becomes part of this alternate city. To truly grasp the essence of the Year of the Death of Ricardo Reis, one must come to appreciate its language. Saramago's works, like those of Woolf, Hemingway, or Joyce, are not just about their characters and plots, but equally about the way he crafts his narratives. Saramago intentionally elevates this aspect of his novels, with his extraordinarily lengthy, intricate sentences, each containing multiple observations and often multiple perspectives. He frequently interjects into his narrative, shifting from the third person to the first and back again. Saramago's style serves to convey the natural flow and thought patterns in a striking manner. In many ways, this aspect is as much the focus of Saramago's novel as the history of Lisbon or the character of Reis himself. Saramago's immersive, present-tense storytelling places the subjectivity of its protagonist at the forefront as an explicitly subjective experience. It doesn't aim for an objective or true portrayal of events, but rather offers a process of active narration that seamlessly blends fact and fiction into a symbolic whole. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.